Hey guys, Josh with Link Spider. So this is sort of a non-traditional video. The robot is running down in the shop, and that's dust collector is really loud. The studio's down there, so I can't record video down there, but I really wanted to get this out. This time of year, folks are starting to live stream baseball and softball games, tennis, that sort of thing, and they're using scoring apps like Game Changer or Sideline. And there's a lot of controversy about what you can and cannot do, and it's typically device dependent. It's typically connection dependent. And the most restrictive way to stream, to connect to your camera, is using iOS. I don't have an iPhone readily available. That's the most restrictive because there's not a whole lot of way around it. But we have an iPad M4 that we are connected, the single cam app, to the Mevo core. And then we're using a Pixel tablet to view the stream on YouTube. That'll let us know when the stream kind of comes and goes. Sorry for the reflection. The camera well, it's reflective. So we're getting some masking here. In any event, what I want to show you is that people are saying, I'm losing my connection. Why am I losing my connection? And then there are other folks that are saying, I don't understand why you're losing your connection on your iPhone because I don't have that problem. I think I can tell you why. So on this iPad, I have Wi-Fi turned off. It has a 5G card in it, and I am connected to the Mevo core using cellular service, not Wi-Fi. Those are two distinct different connections, okay? So what will happen, and this is because of iOS's security, they do not allow background tasks. So on this iPad, I can 3-finger and make this application go in the background. It's technically not closed because it's still running in memory, and open up another utility. Say I wanted to stream or wanted to score with GC, or I wanted to score with Sideline. What it's going to do is it's going to break the stream. It may not break it to a point where it's stopped, but as soon as the buffer on the main screen is gone, it's going to stop the pause. It's going to stop so that your folks watching from home are just going to see a circle. So let's test that now. So I'm going to 3-finger up. I'm back at the main, and it may take a little bit, and that's because there's generally a delay in the stream. But what's eventually going to happen is when you get to this circle here, that means that YouTube is no longer receiving a signal from your encoder. Your encoder in this case is the camera, but the camera is passing data through a cell signal on the iPad, and because iOS doesn't allow background utilities, it's paused that. It hasn't broken the connection yet, but it's paused. And you can see on the camera, it will start blinking. That is an indicator to let you know that something is wrong, okay? Now, again, we're streaming with YouTube using the native app, and YouTube is very friendly to poor internet. But you'll see it now, it says that we're streaming to YouTube, and if I go back over here, I'm streaming again. So it didn't lose the connection. That's not to say that that's going to happen every time. That's not to, being able to pick it back up. And that's not to say that GC and Sideline do the same thing. It's very possible that once that app is no longer in the foreground, it may not be streaming anymore. You may have to physically reconnect it. You may not be able to just load it back up. Now on the iPhone, I don't believe there's an option to get around it other than if you stream to a Wi-Fi signal. So when you connect your Mevo using the single cam app, when you start, it says, do you want to use cellular? Or do you want to use Wi-Fi? If you use Wi-Fi and you connect to a Wi-Fi signal, either to a dedicated hotspot, open air Wi-Fi, or I believe, and I don't have the ability to test this right now, the hotspot on your iPad, because that's a Wi-Fi signal that does work in the background. I believe you can put this in the background, load your scoring app up front, and it'll still stream. But with the tablet, you have an option, and I believe this is M2 and above. I'm an Android guy, not an Apple guy. So you Apple gurus may have to correct me. But I am going to have to slide this out of the way. But what we're going to do is we're going to load Stage Manager. So I'm going to click on my settings, and I'm going to, under the general, I'm going to click on multitasking and gestures, and I'm going to enable Stage Manager. And you'll see when I did that, these 3 dots came up. All right, so now I'm going to close out of this. And then I'm going to 3-finger and I'm going to load my app back. And Mevo reconnected. Again, sometimes it's a little slower than otherwise. It's definitely dependent upon your signal. We're using Starlink, and it might be kind of slow tonight. It'll reconnect. That's not what we're trying to explain right now. What we're trying to explain right now is that now that I have Stage Manager on and I have this up, you'll see that it's now in a crunched in window. That means it gives me options to add other stuff. Looks like we're really struggling to reconnect. Again, that's why you really don't want to break the connection when you're using iOS without Stage Manager. Looks like our stream resumed. It should eventually go away. But if there, it finally went. And so when your folks say it disconnected, that's what you're talking about. The stream has dropped. When you're in the middle of a scoring game and you're scoring along, the score is going to update, but the video is going to stop because the encoder's been broken. All right, so back to Stage Manager. You can see over here on the left side, I've got options that I can add to an app. I believe that broke it again. So I'm going to go add another window. And then I'm going to add the Mevo single cam app. And now, because I've done that, I've added these to Stage Manager. I can now flip-flop over here, and you can tell Stage Manager is still running, the Mevo single cam app is still running behind here, and therefore my video is not broken. Okay? And then that'll allow you to sort of flip-flop back and forth. Or it'll allow you to use the GC app and you're still streaming in the background. And that's kind of handy because then you can come back over here and you can zoom in a little bit and change that and go back if you wanted to do that. Like if it was between a game and you wanted to or between an inning and you wanted to sort of center on the mound or something like that. And then, you're done doing your pre-inning setup and you come back over here and then you zoom it back out. So iOS on cellular has this issue. Android does not have this issue. Android has some issues, and we'll talk about that on another day. But Android doesn't have that issue. Android allows you to put the application in the background, and as long as your system is not being overloaded, it will continue to stream while you score in the foreground. Whether you're on cellular, whether you're on Wi-Fi, it does not matter. iOS, if you are on cellular and you're not using Stage Manager on an iPad, you cannot put either the Mevo single cam app or the multicam app in the background while you are streaming on that device. It will break the stream. It's not Mevo's fault. It's not really anybody's fault other than it's a security protocol that Apple has put in place on their devices. All right, I hope that clears some things. Hope it keeps you from losing a stream. If you have questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Josh at LinkSpider. We'll see you.